Hello, everyone. This is Jordan. Welcome back to the Daily Gold YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me on the late afternoon of Friday, August 1st, 2025. If you're new to the channel, each and every Friday, we wrap up the week in precious metals and look ahead to the next week and beyond. Well, it was a tough week for the precious metal sector, aside from gold with a sharp rebound, a very nice candle today on Friday. But aside from that, the sector remains in correction mode. Although gold was up for the week, the rest of the sector, silver stocks, gold stocks, juniors, they were all down at least 3% or so. So rough week, the precious metal sector, it remains in correction mode. Now, let's get to the specific charts and delve in a little bit further. As always, we start with our market overview. These are 4-month daily candle charts for all the various markets here. The two main moving averages, the 50-day here in blue, 200-day in red, and for some, we also have the 400-day moving average here, which is a dotted line. Now, we can see here for gold, we know there's stiff resistance here at 34.50 or so. It's failed there a handful of times. Gold, look at this. A lot of selling, came down to initial support here, so big rebound today. That was nice. But the rest of the sector, note, even though we had this big rebound in gold, let's look at the stocks, and also let's look at silver. Gold was up that much. Silver, nice couple candles here. Nice bounce off the 50-day, but still, this was much less than gold's gain. And look at GDX there, GDXJ. So these are not bullish candles, SILJ as well. These are not bullish candles in the wake of this over 2% gain in gold, and even this nearly 1% gain in silver. So the stocks yawning at that, not the best sign with respect to the short term. Aside from that, of course, the stock market has sold off in recent days. 10-year yield, this baby continues to go sideways. When you see a market going sideways and just moving averages, like that's really a headache, and you should stay away with respect to trading or having some kind of long-term investment. So this is a headache for here and now with respect to the bond market and interest rates. Last thing, gold against the stock market. I do like this action here. Hopefully, we spoke about this in recent weeks. The confluence of really strong resistance around 0.50, 200-day right here. Nice move in that. Look at this move today, almost 4%, even stronger than gold right there. So we love to see that relative strength with respect to gold against the stock market. Keep an eye on this, because if this is the low, and this is a very good sign for the sector and tells us that probably most of the damage has been done. But so we want to see this continue to stabilize. Maybe it can recapture the 50-day moving average sooner rather than later. Now, let's get to specific markets. So starting off here with gold, here it is, the daily candle chart. Here is gold against the S&P 500, which we just spoke about. So let me add to that. You can see here, this was the major breakout point, 0.50, when this ratio broke out of a 4.5-year long base. So this was a huge breakout in the sector. Now it's coming back, finding really strong support here just above this line right here. Let's look at it. 200-day is at 0.51, 0.50 or just above that is the major support point. Would love to see this kind of move like this and then just gradually push higher like that into the fall. That would be lovely for the precious metal sector. Gold, as we can see here, you had this support here, really nice move. And we have two options for gold. You have very bullish consolidation here, or we just have bullish consolidation here, because even if gold were to fall down to this level down here, I mean, that's still, in the big picture, that's still a bullish consolidation. So are we going to see very bullish or bullish? You'll be the judge. I've sketched out here how these could play out. Last thing is the timing. I've talked about this in other videos. Right now, we are 3.5 months into this gold correction consolidation. The two most comparable market points to where we are here and now for gold are 2006 and 1972. In terms of time, those corrections lasted 4.5 months and 5 months. We're only 3.5 months in, so this is where the correction could end, somewhere along here. So keep that in mind. There is still time to go. Don't get too excited about strength. Don't get too bearish if it breaks down here and tests this level. Moving averages are here. And given what I said about the time, needing another month or a month and a half, We also need these moving averages to come up like this and get much closer to the market. That will signal a mature consolidation, and that gold is ready for the next leg higher. It's not happening yet. Give it another month or 2 months. Okay, moving on to silver here. Here is the daily silver chart. And when we zoom in here, I shouldn't say zoom in, when we focus on the price action for silver, the daily candle chart here, you can see around 34.75, 34.50. So this is going to be the strong support for silver. Now, as I said earlier, silver has bounced off the 50-day moving average, traded as low as 36.36 today, maybe a little bit lower on Thursday, call it 36.20 or so. So this should at least probably all bounce like that. But if we are going to see gold go lower, and gold is outperforming silver now because the sector is in a real correction, that would entail silver also moving lower. Here's a 200-day moving average. It's going to carry and pick up like this. So keep an eye on this strong support here. This is really strong support. So I'd love for this to be the bottom in silver, and then it just goes like that. Maybe it will. I'm a little skeptical. The other scenario, you get a rebound here, and then maybe it dribbles lower, gold breaks lower, and the silver comes back and makes a really significant low somewhere in this area. Hopefully we see a move like that, because that would set up a really good buying opportunity in silver and the silver stocks. Now, speaking of stocks, before we get to the stocks, I just want to say thank you to all of those who have joined my premium service, the Daily Gold Premium. Thank you so much for your business. I appreciate you, because without your business and without your support, I wouldn't be able to do the work that I love to do. And if you're not a subscriber to the Daily Gold Premium, would love to have you consider our service and come aboard. Our focus is on making you money. We don't care about anything else. Our job is to help you make money. And by doing that, we find the best companies, the best values out there, and get into those stocks at the best entry points. So you can sign up. You can immediately see our top 10 company list, our watch list. We also have a top 10 silver company table. So you can find what we believe are the best companies in gold and silver with respect to the juniors. We are focused on the quality stocks and really good values out there that have 5x to 10x potential in the next 2 to 3 years in this cyclical bull market in gold and silver, the first phase of this new secular bull market in gold and silver. Thank you so much, and let's wrap things up by talking more about the stocks. So let's keep the big picture in mind with respect to the stocks. Here's GDX against the 60-40 portfolio. Here's GDXJ against the 60-40 portfolio. Now, short term, or perhaps a little more than short term, medium term, you can see what's going on here. 200-day right here. Maybe this dribbles lower and tests the 200-day. Here's GDXJ. Same thing here. The 200 days creeping up. Maybe this dribbles lower. This line here, so you have strong support. But if we step back from the short term and we look at the big picture here, just look at this. This is a beautiful 12-year-long base. People, we know what happened earlier this year when gold broke out against the 60-40 portfolio. What happened? The sector, silver stocks, everything really exploded higher. So what happens when this ratio, when GDX breaks out against the 60-40 and is trading at a new 13-year high? That will be really, really significant for the precious metal sector. So keep an eye on this. This is a big picture. This is really important. A huge move is ahead in the minors and juniors when we get this breakout, and this one will follow as well. Here and now, short term, not going to happen. Doesn't look imminent, but we'll keep our eyes peeled on it, and we'll update this periodically and let you know when it looks like that move and breakout will happen. So that's the big picture. Let's get more into other charts for gold and silver. Here we have GDX, GDXJ, GOEX, which in my opinion is a better junior ETF than GDXJ. But GDXJ trades way more volume. It's way more liquid, so we have to focus on that. And we can see here, this is the 4.5-year long previous resistance for all these ETFs. And GDX has been the strongest here very recently because of Newmont and a strength in a few other large stocks. That hasn't broken down yet, but we can see here, GDXJ has broken down from a bear flag. GOEX, same thing. They've broken down from bear flags. So what does that tell us? Maybe this could come down and maybe this could get to 59, 60. So there's strong support here because coming back down here again, that would be a retest of the previous multi-year breakout. Here's GOEX. Here is the really, really strong support now, just below 40 in this area. And where is this decline going to go? Maybe back down here, the strong support at 39 to 40. And these are the equivalent to the 200-day moving averages here. So that's coming up. So if we see more weakness in the miners, give it another 7, 8%, whatever, that's going to come into the next really good buying opportunity. Silver stocks, SIL. This is the monthly chart. So this is a potential false breakout. It appeared a few weeks ago that SIL and the silver stocks had broken out of this 12-year-long base. But no cigar, not just yet. So this could pull back a little bit. There is an open gap here. Look for this to get filled. 47.58 down to 42.5, maybe 43. Maybe it goes a little bit lower. So that's where we are for silver stocks. But again, let's keep an eye on the big picture. This is a huge and super bullish base. Now let's wrap things up here with the short term. But we can see here, no breakdown yet in GDX because of the strength in Newmont and a few other stocks. But here we can see the breakdown in GDXJ. This bear flag pattern here. This is broken down here. SILJ, some hard selling down here. Now it's bouncing. We can see this is a short-term bounce. But look at these candles. You don't see white accumulation candles. These are black. So these are distribution candles, even though the market is bouncing. It's telling us that this strength is being sold. So remember I pointed out, huge move in gold today, but the stocks basically yawn. That's because they're in correction mode. So that's where we are for precious metals. Hope you all had a great week. Hope you had a great month of July. And leave a comment. Would love to hear what you think. Thank you so much for your support. Hope you guys had a good week and hope you have an even better weekend. I'll talk to you guys again. Next up will be Macro Mondays.